All right, so I think I have everything set up right. According to Stream Elements, my microphone has good volume this time around. I did replace my microphone. All right, so on this one, we are getting ready to continue working, and I think I'm going to work a little bit in the API. So let me see if I can move this a little bit out of the way. I'll probably hit it though. It is sitting pretty low. Okay, so what we have here, I made sure that I pulled down the latest source code, but I'll do another pull just in case. There we go. Yep, so that seems to be the latest pull. I'll give it a few moments for the RAID. That's okay. All right, so today, here we go. Thank you so much for the RAID, David. Let's go ahead and finish up this codathon. Hey, David. Hey, Ancient Coder. It's the Davi. So I don't have any cool music going on today. I haven't, like I said, I used to have a Go XLR. I swapped out my entire audio setup, so no tunes today. Thank heavens. Yeah, my last two streams, I found out, probably a good portion of the stream in before somebody said, oh, your volume is really low. So I just could not figure out the XLRs. Fantastic. So I have the new Wave 3 by Elgato. It's pretty cool, except that the mute is pretty sensitive on the top, so I tend to randomly hit that as well. But anyway, thank you all for joining me today. So I'm about to continue some more work for the 2 weeks ready application. So I felt that maybe we should concentrate on getting some APIs put in place to build out. Hi, David. Or Dave Paquette. I don't know. Do you want going by David or Dave? In our meetings, we always call you David. Either or. Okay. All right. So this morning, Fritz had started creating the Davy Poo. I don't know about that one. But, all right. Fritz had started creating like the back end features for the administrators to go in to maintain content. So the content will be for, like the case of the other streams today, like the base kits, for instance. So the base kits, we want the users to ultimately be able to, yes, create a kit from scratch, but we also want to give them the ability to use some of these prefabricated kits that we have defined. So those are the recommendations that are directly from like the 2 weeks ready brochure that really give you an idea of what you need to do to, survive 14 days. And then we'll add a calculator to that. So obviously the kits are defined by, one person or one pet. And that's what that count was this morning in Fritz's stream. So let's go ahead and take a, oops, see, I knew I was going to hit it. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So I've gone ahead and made sure that I could, holy smokes, it is a little dark. If I do that, interesting. So my screen is lighting up my face. That's always good to know. Let me turn the light on here. Look, I'm see-through. Wow. All right, I'm going to try to adjust my lights again. All right, let's try that. I thought it looked good without the lights, but apparently if I'm going to be in a dark UI, why am I see-through? I am not wearing green. Is my hair thinking it's green? My hair is not green. All right, enough of that distraction. Okay, so inside of our API, I don't need any Docker images at this time. So let's go ahead and go into the source code here, and we have essentially a folder for each of the modules. So we have the emergency kits module, and I just went ahead and stuck the base kit stuff in there too. Let's try that. I can't win. Okay, so here's the base kits API. So right now, as you saw this morning, we only had a get. So I didn't know if Fritz had wanted to go directly to the database or not, or if he wanted to go through the API. It makes sense to go through the API, but what we can do is we can borrow from our existing emergency kits API and just kind of switch the context over to the base kit. So if you take a look at, and the workspace is working fantastic, by the way, David. So let's take a look here at the base kit. So the base kit has an ID, name, icon, and items. And then the base kit item has an ID, name, description, photo, quantity per count. And again, the count, if they're creating a pet kit, will be the count per pet. If they're creating it for humans, it'll be by the quantity per person. And again, this is all based on 14 days. And then measurement unit, that could be like gallons or what have you. So that's the base kits that we're going to work with. So what we need to do is really build out the APIs. So this morning we saw some APIs for the emergency kits. So I think pretty much the get kits was being called, as well as the maybe the get kit by ID, I don't know. And then of course the emergency kit create, which is what we were doing to add, like basically create the kits on that screen that David was just working on. So that is what that looks like. And of course we have this currently untested emergency kit create from base kit, but of course we want to give people the APIs and the ability to actually create the base kits from the admin app ultimately that Fritz started putting together this morning. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're definitely going to need, I want to try to keep things kind of similar. I don't know if we're going to need to get a base kit by ID, so I'll add that on if time is allowing. But we want to be able to provide the ability to create kits. So let's go ahead and go back here. And this is always dangerous, folks, so don't do this at home. So I will call this, oh, of course it's indented differently. I wonder why. I'm going to call this base kit create. And in this case, we're going to create a base kits container. And this isn't going to have a whole bunch of data in it. So when I actually set up my container locally, let me find my emulator here. That's not it. Is it here? Yes. So here's my emulator here. I just created this base kits item here. So what I did was I set the ID as the partition key. Again, there's not going to be very many of them, so I'm not really overly worried about that. And then, of course, now you're actually mandated to add some type of partition key. So if anybody has a different strategy, if I'm doing it completely wrong, feel free to let me know. And we can definitely change, because definitely we could always, everyone always has something to learn. Okay, so here's a create kit. It's going to be base kits. We're going to say create a base kit. So probably an issue that I'd like to add is we might want to add roles into our token, because obviously when this is in production, we want to make sure that the person that's able to create the base kits are the only ones that have the ability to exercise these APIs. So I'm not going to get into that though right this minute. It looks like my indentation is still off. There we go. I always have fear of indentation ever since that it was an open source project that Fritz was working on, and I submitted code to it, and my editor had different settings for indentation. It wasn't spaces, it was tabs, but it was doing things differently. So it ended up with a merge from hell, we'll just put it that way. All right, so here's a base kit. What we want to do is make sure that we're pulling in a base kit. And then I'm just going to call this, actually I probably should have just renamed that, right? Let's go ahead and rename this symbol. Where is that? There it is, F2. And we want to call this, maybe we'll call it new base kit. All right. I'm going to allow them to have items. Yep, that's fine. Our items, though, are not, there should not be a user ID in there. These should be base kit items. Oh, that's true. I undid this apparently. Okay, so the difference between the base kit and the actual user kits, again, is these ones aren't limited strictly to the actual user. So user ID makes no sense in this case, because this is like global information that's being added. So the only thing that we need to add in this base kit would be the, well, for the base kit items for each KI, so we're appending on the new GUID. So the base kit items, again, has an ID, which is just the ID of the record, and it has a name, a description, a photo, quantity per count, and quantity unit. So I'm expecting that to come in from the UI. Same with the base kit. It's, well, the IDs don't come in. I populate that myself when we're creating. So when we're creating, again, name, icon, and items. And again, we want to make sure that we provide the ability to create the base kit with or without items, because you can obviously go in and maintain those later. So we'll retain that functionality. So these items now are base kit items. So again, it's very similar to the emergency kit items. It's just that the base kit isn't associated with a user. And then again, it's providing that foundation. So when we're actually creating the collection URI here, we don't want to go into the emergency kits. We want to go in to the base kits. Did I have that pluralized? I need to check my work here real quick. All right. It's not an emergency, so I'm going to get back to my HTBox conversation. All right. Sorry, I'm dealing with Slack. Okay. All right, so here's the collection URI, 2 weeks ready, base kits. I was checking to see if I had that pluralized, so let's check here. Yep, I did call it base kits. And then when I'm passing it in here, you can see that we're doing injection of the Cosmos DB connection. And again, this is the values are being provided by the local settings.json, and I'm running just the default that's available currently. Obviously, my key might be different than yours. I'm not sure if that's a default key or not, but it is what it is. It's local. All right. So once we've done that, we can go ahead and create the document, and then we return that base kit as a response. All right, so let's go ahead and save that. I can go ahead and, I don't know, if there's any hot refresh of Azure Functions. But that's okay. It only takes a moment for it to restore. All right, so what this should do now is it should provide us the base kit create. So as a naming convention, if it's returning a collection, I usually call the function name base kits. If it's dealing with a single item, I call it base kit. So I think that kind of got us in a little bit of trouble this morning, but to me, it makes sense in my head. But again, I can be talked out of it if it becomes more of a problem. All right, so now we have base kit create. All right, so that looks fantastic. So let's go ahead and add, I have a cluttered desktop here. All right, so let's go ahead and, since it's similar to this one, let's go ahead and duplicate this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a base kit in this case. Is we're going to change this one to actually point to the new base kit create service that I just created. All right, so inside the body, let me see, inside the documentation that I wrote last night. You think I would remember these things, but I don't. So let's go ahead into the wiki. So if you're looking for more information or if you think something's missing, the wiki is a great place to look. And of course, you can always start a conversation in our issues log or even open issues yourself. So this is completely a community project. So just jump in and join us. All right, so inside the API, let's see, that was emergency kits, and I think I have, that was update, delete, here's base kits, get. Oh, that's true, I don't have an API defined for this, so I'm gonna have to document this when I'm done. All right, so when we're creating a base kit, let's take a look at the object. So I'm pretty sure color was not one of them, because that's something that we're asking the user to select. The icon is a default icon. I think we're asking the user for that too. So maybe, well, if they're creating it off of a base kit, they don't have to select an icon because we don't have that screen yet. So that makes sense. All right, sorry as I talk through my thought process there. All right, so let's take a look at our base kit. So our base kit, we don't need to set the ID because we're going to let the functions do that. Yeah, I was thinking about that too last night, Dave. I thought, well, should this just be a web API? But I know that we're going to be growing. So yeah, we can have that discussion. All right, so we need a name, an icon, and items. So those are the three things that I'm going to expect from the admin web app UI. All right, so it was name, icon, and items, correct? Yeah, we could. I actually at one point had just like the emergency kits with get, push, or not push, put, post, and delete. One thing that I hit was routing issues with the gets, because there was multiple gets, but we could probably solve that issue. But anyway, for right now, I'm just going to keep the items empty. And then I can set a breakpoint actually within my API, just to make sure that things are getting passed over all right. Well, should I create an item just for the... Oh no, you can distract all you want. We're here to have some fun. So actually, since that's going okay, I want to change my Stream Deck over. Boom. I'm going to change it over from my training to my development. And I have a stream button. Are these hooked up right now?
Alrighty then.
Alrighty then. Yes, we can make it fun. I know I don't have music right now, but my sound effects apparently are still linked. So that's good. So, yeah, well, why not? Let's add a kit item, because, well, maybe not. Let's not tempt fate yet. Let's make sure we can actually get in here and my token hasn't expired yet. So inside my Postman collection, what I did was I created a collection, and then once you go edit, you're allowed to set different variables. So this is not my entire token. And you can also see that I'm also pointing to, well, my Postman is pointing to the cloud. So I want to change this. I want to reset this back to the default. So let's go ahead and update that there. So now I'll actually be pointing to my Azure Functions. It's typically a better way to hit breakpoints, if I do say so myself. So I do have a breakpoint in there. Let's go ahead and send it. And boom, we're in there. So let's take a look at what we've got. So we can go through and it's going to do the authorization passed, and it's going to do the deserialization of the body, which is the one that we just wrote inside of Postman. Let's take a look. Yeah, so I don't have any items. I was expecting that. I wanted a name and an icon. That looks fantastic to me. So I don't have any items yet, but we can test that next, because I just wanted to test something small at the first. All right, so let's see. Here's the moment of truth. If you're praying, people, go ahead and pray. Hey, it looks like we got a document. So there it is right there. And we can continue on. So inside of Postman, you're going to see that we created a test kit with the medical bag. And inside of my emulator, which is right there, if I select items, we now see that we have our first base kit. So the tools that I'm using, of course, is the Cosmos DB emulator, but I also like, when I'm working primarily on back-end work, is to create integration test harnesses. So this is not a unit test. This is an integration test harness with Postman. So again, if you are awesome with testing, I kind of whipped together a lot of this this API code very quickly last night. So if you want to add tests around it, that's definitely something that we would need. But again, you're probably going to have to create a bunch of interfaces and such, but definitely a doable thing. All right, so we know we have create working. So what do you say we try to create with some items? So let's take a look at what we expect for a kit item. So kit item, again, because it's new, I don't need to pass in ID. User ID, this is not the right kit item. There's no user ID in a base kit. It's almost like there's no crying in baseball. Base kit, okay, that's the API. Here's the base kit item. Okay, so ID, don't need that. name, description, photo. Ugh, I have a really crappy short-term memory if you haven't noticed that yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an ugly, ugly looking workspace. And I'm going to do this. So I can just take a look at the items and add one in here. All right, so it needs a name. What should we call it? Secret item number 42. That sounds serious. Description. The answer to everything. Okay, photo, we don't really have we haven't really thought this one out yet, so we don't know if we're going to be uploading like to storage, or if I highly doubt we want to stick it in binary format inside the database, but that is an option. So I'm not quite sure what to put here yet, so we'll just say, I'll just keep it empty actually. So there's photo, quantity per count. Let's go ahead and say 5. So again, this is if it's for 5 people or if it's for 5 pets. This is the quantity per. So when they're creating a new personal kit based off of a base kit, this quantity will be multiplied by the number of people or pets that they have added. All right, so that's the quantity per count, and the quantity unit, I'll say, something quantum. There we go. All right, so do we think that this one's going to work? Let's try it. Okay, going to send that. Oh, that's true. I had a breakpoint in here. Boom. Yes, we did. Fantastic. So, I don't have a get in here yet, do I? Well, that's fantastic. Let's go ahead and save the changes to these. What we'll do is we'll create a get so we can see our listing. So, create base kit. Here's a get. So I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this one because I'm lazy. As you can see, I copy and paste code, and it's very dangerous. It's living on the edge, not just the Azure edge. Good evening, Rambling Geek. How are you? How's Vector? All right, so that should be all I need, actually, for that one. So let's go ahead and see if that's working. Yep, there we go. So we have the test create kit and the test create kit 2 that I created with the item. Sweet. Were you able to figure out all the open source for him? Because he's like one of my best friends. Vector is Rambling Geek's robot. I talk to him every time I catch a stream, which I don't catch very many streams lately. All right, so I don't want to call that copy. I want to say get base kit list. All right, so I'll save that, save changes. And now you can see that I'm really starting to build out these integration pieces so that I don't have to rely on the UI being implemented to make sure that my code works. That, of course, and if I had unit tests, of course, but this is nice that I can actually see this running, hitting my Cosmos DB emulator locally. All right, so now we're good here. So let me go ahead and out of that, and let's go ahead and do the update. So you never guess what I'm going to do. I am going to go steal my own code because thinking is hard. All right. So there we go. Should we just do the update and delete at the same time? I can send messages from Discord. Well, actually, the last week of February, I'm going to be teaching in your time zone, like I did the last week of January. So, so I might just do that during your day. All right, I think I went too far. There we go. So let's go ahead and we'll just grab the last two, which are the updates and the deletes. And we're going to go ahead and add that in here as well. So as long as I got all my curly braces right, we should be Gucci. Ah, well, I have, well, mind you, I have to reset it. I currently have air quality running on a matrix portal in my office, but I find that it loses connectivity and for some reason, the code that I have to reconnect, it fails intermittently. So most of the time it works, but like it'll fail like after 8 hours or something like that. And then it won't be able to recover, even though it could have, failed like 2 or 3 times throughout the day and self-recovered. But anywho, yeah, that's true. This is on Wi-Fi, but I have a Velop Wi-Fi, which is amazing. I really recommend Velop. I've had the original version of it, and I've just upgraded a couple others. So because we're only updating one, I called it Base Kit. And of course, our collection for our client is going to be Base Kits. And we'll say updating a base kit. I probably should explain this a little bit. So a lot of this is boilerplate, so we might actually, I don't know, in Azure Functions, can you put middleware in there? I think you can. But anyway, we authenticate the request, we identify the person, in like that's how we get the authorization result, the identity name. That is used when we're, doing a user. So we don't expect the UI to pass anything about the user except for the token and then our Auth0 library that Dave had created. No middleware, darn. That David had created will actually strip out from the token the identity of the user. So we don't have to rely at all on the UI to pass that information. Okay, so here is base kits. We probably don't even need to do this, but what I'll do is just do this. Obviously, we're going to be working with base kits, so we want to make sure that we return these things. Now, this is not the best way of doing this. Well, mind you, I don't think it actually matters when it comes down to it. There is a little bit of extra overhead when you're doing a create document query, but if you see inside of here, when I'm actually creating based off of an existing base kit, I'm actually creating by a document URI, and I'm using read document async. So this is basically the same as like in Mongo if you're going to pull by ID. So what I might do is actually just replace this here. Of course, I called it existing kit. Blah. And of course, my tabification. Yeah, this is update, so I want to verify it exists. Obviously, I don't have to multiply anything by count at this point because we're actually just doing the definitions. So let's take that out. And that looks okay. It's just this block right here. Yeah, okay, so let's go ahead and rename this symbol to existing kit. And obviously, because I was using two different collections, I had two different clients inside. So this is inside the emergency kit API, where we're creating it based off of a base kit. Again, not tested, asterisk. So I have one that's doing a document client for emergency kits and one that's doing the document client for the base kits. All right, so back to here. I need... So here's our base kit URI. So our request, did we grab that out yet? Yes, we did. It's actually called kit. So I'm going to change this here to kit.id. So what this is going to do is it's going to create a document link essentially to the base kit that has the ID of the one of the object being passed in. And the object being passed in is the base kit, which we're getting from our UI or getting from Postman. So what I did here is I've initialized base kit to null, basically so I can add this try catch, and this can now be just client. Was it client? Yeah, it's just client. I was too fast on the scroll up there. And this will be the kit ID. Hey, yeah, no problem. So middleware I typically use a lot when I'm doing ASP.network. So there's kit ID cannot be found, so we have some logging. So what this does is it creates a document link, and that's really what this is. It's just the URI. And then what we're doing is we're using our client and we're saying, I want you to read the document at that link, or the document link or URI, what have you. And I want you to deserialize that as a base kit. And it's required that you pass in the partition key. Now, gets a little bit confusing. So the partition keys, you notice here I didn't say, well, I know I'm partitioning on ID. You notice I didn't pass in a string of ID. It actually has to pass in the value of the partition key. So that's how it's going to quickly go and grab what it needs, because that is like a top level index, is the partition key. And I'm going to actually close off source tree for now because that little pop-up just drives me bonkers. Okay, so here's the existing kit. And if it does not exist, you're going to get a not found. This should not happen, because that will happen first. All right, and then as I mentioned before, because this is a base kit, it's not associated with any individual user. So we want to make sure that we only assign the ID, because there is no user ID field in this case. But typically, like inside of the emergency kits API, you're going to see the user ID is being pulled directly from the token that the Auth0 library detokenized and provided the identity of the user that was making the request. So right now, as you saw inside of Postman, I have it set to a token that I created yesterday. So it's still good, thank heavens. But if it does reset, all I do is I take a look, I'll fire up the UI, log in with my account, and then I'll take a look at the network traffic and grab the bearer token from there. So that was how I obtain my my actual token to stick into Postman. But I really like adding those variables. So as you saw inside of Postman, I had both the actual URL, like the root, and the bearer token both as variables. So this way I can set them once and then it'll be available to me throughout my collection. So it's really awesome that way. So I'm going to call this one BaseKit delete. And it's going to be passing in an ID. And of course we want this to be BaseKits as well. Deleting a BaseKit, not an, that's not proper grammar. Okay. All right, so it's going to do the authentication thing. It's going to check to make sure that the ID was passed in. So I'll just call it BaseKit ID is not specified. And then we're going to go ahead and do a similar thing. But again, because we don't have to filter by the actual identity of the user anymore, we can actually just pull the same code that I have up here. So we can verify the existing right here. We don't care about kit items. So I should be able just to drop this in. Of course, this is not an update. This is a delete. So I can take that out. See, I copied and pasted last night too. Yep, pretty much. So you can basically inject different types of logic into your calling pipeline, if you will. I used to actually do that with Enterprise Java Beans quite a bit back in the day. All right, so this one is actually just going to be the ID. Woo, boom. So again, I'm only going to pull the one document. So I want to just pass an ID here because that's what we're passing in our route. So if you see here, here's our BaseKit delete and our route parameter is ID. And then I'm calling it out right here. So it's going to be injected from the route directly into the method signature. So I have that available as a first-class citizen within my code. Okay, so that looks all good. So I'm just checking if it exists. Now, some people might say that, okay, well, why are you checking the existence? It's just an additional check. We could just go ahead and do the delete, but I wanted to just add this logic again if we decide to curtail it later for a YAGNI, you ain't gonna need it. We can do that too. So I want this one to be BaseKits. So again, creating a document URI, which again is pointing to a specific document. So that I'm going to call this a BaseKit URI, just to be consistent. And of course, the partition key here is not the user ID. The user ID is the partition on the user emergency kits. So this one right here is actually the ID. So I'll just pass an ID in this case. All right, so what's wrong with BaseKit URI? It's already defined in this scope. Oh yeah, I already did, didn't I? I did it before I was pulling the single document. Way to be, Carrie. Okay, so there it is, right here. BaseKit URI, it's available. Boom. Okay, so now that we have that, we can do the delete document. It's going to use the document URI and by partition key by ID. All right. Yes, I'm one of those people that, see, I have my little space indicators, and it always bugs me if there's trailing spaces, because when I'm doing Python work in notebooks, that bugs me so much. So whenever you see me removing extra spaces, that's because I'm seeing the line ending with extra spaces, and I'm scared of them. All right, so let's go ahead and F5 into this. Okay, there we go. So now we should have Basekit create, Basekit delete, and Basekit update. So that's awesome. I always wonder if I should add like Basekit's read, just because it's like the CRUD naming terminology. But anywho, let's go ahead and exercise this guy. All right, so I'm going to do my terrible screen splitting here again. But I like watching my local Azure functions do the thing. All right. So we created an update and a delete. All right, so those should be fairly simple to do. So what I'm going to do is, yeah, guessed it. Oh, did it? Line 166. Thank you so much. I totally missed that. Thank you, Big House 50. I really appreciate it. I guess that's why Michael Jolly was, Bald Bearded Builder was saying, avoid the magic strings. I know. I know that lesson all too well. All right, let's go ahead and fire this up again. He's not wrong, no. And typically I am one of the people that has like actually multiple constants classes. But as you saw, I started creating those APIs, the updated APIs after work last night and finished about 2 o'clock this morning. So, but I wanted to make sure that the APIs were set and ready because I knew exactly what Michael Jolly was going to be doing. Hey, Humanitarian Toolbox. Hey, HTBox. I was going to say HTBox, but I'm not European. All right, so you'll never guess what I'm going to do. I'm going to duplicate this. And I'm going to change this to Basekit update. And I'm going to edit this and say update. Thank you for the follow, OMNose97. I really appreciate it. I hope I probably killed that.
Klaatu, Barada. Okay then.
I did it.
That's it.
All right. So what I'm going to do here is, if you remember on our last one, so if I get the Basekit list, I can just go ahead and pull one of these things. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab the bigger one. So here is my local test create kit 2. And I want to go ahead and update this. So what I'm going to do inside the body here is replace it with the 1. Thank you, Rambling Geek. I really appreciate you stopping by. Tell Vector to say goodnight to you. Or I'll figure out how to do that. Of course, I don't want the array. Oh no, that is a good array. Boop. Again, my ugly screen sharing. All right. Oh, good, we can shift tab in there. Okay, so let's update a couple things. We can update, create test kit 2. I've been adding like updated to it. Updated. Secret item number 42. How about you'll never know? And let's go with 42. Haha, I see what I did there. Or we could do pi. No, I said integer, so I probably don't want 3.14. I can say that this one is in pi. Or pi. Or pi. All right, okay, enough of that. All right, let's go ahead and test this guy out. Oh no, we've got red. I can't find it, huh? Updating a base kit. Executed base kit. Failed. All right, I'm gonna have to maximize this. Of course, that doesn't help too much. Resource not found. All right, so I'm pulling a base kit and it should be pulling the... Oh, I didn't pass the ID. Hey, Chill Ninja, how are you? No, wait a minute. That doesn't have a route, does it? That's delete. What am I even looking at? Okay. So, once we get to... I want to call this... Well, I'll rename it later. All right, so let's take a look here. So it's saying that I can't find my base kit based off of the kit ID passed in. All right, so let's go ahead and pass this in again. Base kit update, base kit update. All right, so we should hit it. All right, so there it is. And let's see here. So inside of my kit, it has the C0, that looks right. Has one item, that looks right too. So why am I not able to pull the base kit based off of ID? Because that is what, maybe because it is partitioned by ID? That could be part of it. All right, let's watch this fail again. Kapow. Boom. All right, so I want to try something out here. I am not a Cosmos DB professional. I have used it for simple things, for like telemetry and time to live. But let's go ahead and I want to go back into my emulator. And what I'm going to do is I don't think there's a way to change the actual... Oh, see? There's ID. Well, let's refresh this because I don't want to edit the filter. I just want to refresh it. Oh, here's the refresh. All right, so because I set... Where's the other... Oh, there it is. Stinking. But it should still be pulling it, right? Because even though I have the ID here and the /ID, maybe I should partition by name? I guess it doesn't really matter if it's unique. The only thing is I don't think is after the collection is created if you can change it. No. All right, I'm going to kibosh my base kits. And I'm going to change my key to name. Not my key, well, it is a key, partition key. So let's create a new container. And we will call it base kits because that's what I authored. And I'm going to say partition by name. Why not? I think that's all I need. Okay. Obviously, $24 a month does not count when you're in an emulator. All right, so now I have killed all of the poor base kits, right? So I wanted to rename this, right? I wanted to name this update base kit. I'm just going to get this in here while I have it in, not running. Delete base kit. All right, files save. Let's go ahead and fire up this guy again. And I want to have, not that, not Discord, not that either. I don't even know what's in there. Oh, it's just a link. Don't save. All right, where is Postman? There it is. Now it's on my third monitor. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so we have to start over because I killed it. I am violent to base kits. All right, so now that this is fired up, let's go ahead and create a base kit. We'll just create the same one that we had before. Boom, it has it. Ooh, this one has a bad ID. It says bad. Let's see.
I got a bad feeling about this.
All right, so now that we have that, we can go and get our base kit list. Twitchloff. Twitchel is like the Twitch off. Twitchloff. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this here, and we are going to update the base kit, change the body, because obviously we changed some things around. I wonder why that shrunk again. There we go. So let's just call it updated. And we will say that this is in pies. So pie, pie, pie. All right. What do you think? What do you think?
I got a bad feeling about this.
Hey, I have a kit. All right, so here it goes. No, it's not found. Oh, I didn't change the partition key, Gary. It'll be fun, they said. Line 137, did I miss two of them? Okay, seriously? I'm gonna have to. Oh my word. That is copy and paste programming. It is dangerous, people. I'm telling you, it is dangerous. Let's just do this. Emergency kit. Those two are fine. Okay, that should have been the last one. Thank you again so much, Big House. I really appreciate it. All right, so since I have gone ahead and changed my partition key, I'm going to have to fix some things. All right, so we have 2 weeks ready, base kits, that's fine. All right, so I'm going to need everywhere we have. All right, easy way, partition key. There we go. All right, so I'm going to need to change this to the name. There's one. Ooh, so it's a good thing I have the existing kit. Oh no, I don't have the existing kit. Well, that puts a little bit of a wrench into things. So we're just passing in the ID. I guess we are going to have to do for the delete a cross query, or a document query, I should say. That's easy enough to change. Okay, and of course with the document query you don't have to pass in the partition key. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? Actually, I don't even think we have to do that there either. But anywho, let's go ahead and grab another sample. Because you don't want to sit around and watch me type. Okay, so I want on delete, right? I want to go ahead and change this out again. So I actually already have the URI. So I'm going to have to delete the extra one. Okay. So there it is there. And I'm going to call this one existing kit. And of course, this is a base kit. Base kit. And we don't have to do cross partition. Yes, we probably do. Because the partition is on name. So this might actually be considerably slower. Yes, I know you're a base kit. It's okay. Okay. So I can take this one out because the other one's pointing to the correct one. That's true. Sorry. Obsessive compulsive about spaces at the end of my lines. That is always going to be a thing. All right, so I'm still going to need a document URI, but does that one need a partition key? It does. Well, if I'm getting this, so I might have to, well, that's true. I'm going to have the name at that point. So we're good. We're good. It's all good. All right. So let's get a document URI here. Yeah, I planned it that way. Not really. So this is going to be existing kit.name. And then I'm going to pass in existing kit.name. And this is going to be, I'm going to call this base kit URI. And I'm also going to that. Because if the query comes back, that's the difference between the read document async. So this one, again, creates a little bit of overhead when we're reading data. But the downfall of the previous read strategy is that if it's not there, it will cause an exception. Whereas this one will just be an empty, like a null, so it's first or default, so it would be null. Or if it's pulling back a collection, be a better partition key for... Well, that's what I did. I had to switch it from ID, so it wasn't finding it in ID, and I'm wondering if it's because that's a system field. So I changed it to name, but I don't know what else really to put it because it's pretty unique other than that, unless we want to partition on the icon. That's doable too, I guess. Well, it might still work, but I wasn't able to do that with the read document. It wasn't finding it, so I'm assuming it had to do with the partition. Because in the emergency kits were the APIs that I fully tested the other day that was being partitioned on the user ID. Interesting. It is. It is. All right, so we have the existing kit here. If it's null, it'll do the bad things. And if it does exist, it'll drop down to here where we create a document URI, now partitioning on name. And we will delete by name. Okay, there's that one. Okay, that one was fun. All right, so this is in the update. Okay, so the update is fine because we're already pulling it. Oh no, we can't. Dang. Gonna have to change this one too. Stinking. All right, whatevs. Oh, come on. I want to copy and paste with the best of them. Oh, this indentation is wrong. And this is bugging me right here too. Okay. Let's grab that. Let's now go up to our update. And, well, update should pass it in, right? So I just have to update this to name. Now, if I were thinking straight. All right, so that is that one. That one is handled. Partition key, name, yes. Partition key, name, yes. Partition key, name, yes. I think, oh, there's 4 because there's 2 in each line, Carrie. So that's fantastic. Alt Shift F, yeah, I know. I'm a mouse person though. And my dog is digging a hole in his bed. I don't know if you can hear him. He is the awesomest pair programmer ever. But he needs a fur cut. All right, are we ready? Are we ready? All right. So what do you think, folks? Is this one going to work? No red text, no red text, no whammies. Base kit not found. What the? Why? Why are you doing this to me? All right, so I'm in the update. I am now partitioned on name. Did I give name an uppercase or a lowercase? No, I gave it a lowercase, that's right. Items is the bad ID. Alrighty. That's probably going to be just fine. Yep. No, I changed that to name. Here's the create document base kit URI. It's taking in the base kit URI here. This is still the update, right? Should be fine. Because I changed that to be partitioned on the name, which I passed in. All right, I don't see anything wrong with that. All right, let's do it the hard way. I can play this game. I just would rather use the partitions for what the partitions are used for, pulling data back fast. Yes, we can. Like Bob the Builder. Hold up. Holding. Okay. Line 114. Yeah, but it's... Oh, you're right. Thank you, Dave. Now I have to make sure I didn't do that multiple places. I don't even think we're using this. Where it is, you're right. It has to be the ID, Carrie, not the partition. We delete by ID. We don't delete an entire partition. Oh, it does work. You were right on the money for that one. All right. Is there hot refresh for functions? I'd like to know. All right, so there we go. Existing kit ID. All right, so what I want to do now is I want to make sure whenever I'm creating a document URI that I'm not passing in name. Oh, no, 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 don't do that. Looks like it's all ID. That would just be evil. All right. Let's go ahead and F5 that guy again. Alrighty then.
Alrighty then.
Let's try this again. Okay. I could, Postman, you can get a little bigger than that. All right, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Let's do the thing.
Yeah, baby.
No, baby. Oh, for sure this time. Base kit was not found again. I was passing in name. Why? Why you do this to me? I know. Ancient Coder, take note because I think I directed you to create partitions on ID. Okay. Alrighty then. Oh, here we go.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, it is. Right there's the message. Oh, word, my word, my word. So we get a base kit. That base kit has an ID. The ID is the one we're looking for. I need to get the sound clip for... Yeah, kit ID is right here. Yep, definitely can. All right, so let's fire it off again. Okay, so right here, and it's the bad to the bone. So it's there. And the partition key is on name now. Oh, that's the updated name. That's why. Boogers. Boogers, boogers, boogers. Are you allowed to update a partition key? I think so. Now I have to. Probably not. But what would we partition on it? Just some random thing? So when I had it set to ID, it wasn't finding it. Of course, because. Yeah, so what should we do? Like just create some random value? Ideas, 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 Dave. We need it. What should we name the partition key? Well, that's what I had before. And it wasn't pulling it back. It wasn't finding it. I can try it again. You want me to try it again? Maybe I missed something because there was a lot of corrections. Especially where I had the wrong collection. All right, let's do the thing. All right, back into Cosmos DB. We're going to kaplooey this guy. Bye-bye. This is base kits. All right, let's go ahead and create a new one. New container. And we will call this base kits. Can I just say ID? Alrighty then. That looks right. Right. Now, let's do this again. All right, let's do partition key. Maybe well, no, I have to do the create as well. All right, so there's ID. Or create as well, yeah. I'm not going to change the strategy for... Oh, I just changed that one. Oh my goodness. Seriously. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Did I get him? I hope so. All right. Let's go do the thing. This is exciting, though. I love troubleshooting things. Okay. Well, yeah, of course, because I shut it down. This time for sure. Yes, yes, for sure. For sure, for sure. All right, so we need to create a base kit first. So let's go ahead and do that thing. And it's going to give us, well, of course we don't pass in ID. La. Oh, that must have been the response. Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and send that in. It's going to test to make sure I fixed everything up all right. Yep, here's our new object. All right, let's go to our update. That's emergency kit. Not the one we want. This is the one we want. Let's... Was that? Oh, that was totally not indented right. All right, let's go ahead and update it. Maybe let's change it to 42. I think I'm putting too much thought into the update, but it's fun and it makes me happy. Right. What do you think? What do you think? Shall we? Okay, maybe if I close my eyes. All right, ready? Is it over yet? Probably should be over by now. It's not over yet. Oh, I have a break point. Don't close your eyes if you have a break point. No. Oh. Oh no. What the? Looks like my my token expired. All right, so now I will show you how I update my token. Oh, but of course, let's see. Well, it says session token, status code 404. What does this even say? Okay, that's not my session token. Let me, I'll test it in just a second. Okay, session token, false transport, collection type, read, partition is valid for. What the heck is even this? Maybe you can update. Or I'm not even updating it. Resource not found. Okay. Okay. Why? Let's step through the entire thing, okay? Let's do this. I don't know why Postman is down here now all of a sudden. All right, let's do it. Boom. There's our breakpoint. Where's my breakpoint? There's my breakpoint. Don't ask me what happened there. Okay. Okay, so we have a kit ID of 37 something or other. And that's my stomach. Hopefully you didn't hear that. And let's check here. See, what I don't understand is it's putting the extra partition key there. It's assigning it twice. It's assigning it correctly. Okay, so that is right. Okay, so we'll go through here. Okay. You know, we could always provided a random 1 and 0 partition for these small things. All right, so kit ID is there. That is correct. Partition key is correct. Base kit URI. That is kit ID, hitting base kits, and the 2WR. That is all correct. It worked. Did I not restart it? Then why did it die in the exact same request? Oh. Base kit. Did I overwrite? All right, so I have something over here wrong. It has nothing to do with this. It has everything to do with this. Okay. Oh, that's why, because it is now kit. No, it is kit ID. But don't I already have... I already have base kit URI here. So I don't know why I'm doing that twice. I shouldn't have to, I don't think. I guess so. All right, let me grab one of those. Dave Paquette.
Help me, Obi-Wan.
Dave Paquette.
You're my only hope.
Yes. Okay. Where was I? Oh, replacing the document, wasn't I? Do do do. Do 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 do. I need music. You don't want to hear me sing. All right. Okay, this time I'm going to set it down here. I don't have a try-catcher on this one. Living on the edge, I'm telling you. Living on the edge. Alrighty. Alright, let's do the thing. Let's update. Breakpoint. Probably a first breakpoint. Okay, this has to be a glitch with... So where is my breakpoint? Alright, there it is. There she blows. Alright. I left spaces. Crap. Okay. Alright, so this probably is going to be okay. Grab the existing kit. So the kit by ID was fine. What isn't fine, well, let's just play to here. Alright. I think this will work now. Why is... yeah. And...
Yeah, baby.
Success. Okay, where's my response? Way down there. Sweet. Dave, you are a hero. We now have a pi. So if I come back into our Cosmos DB, so Ancient Coder, you're good with ID. Who knew? And my stomach is growling. Wish there was a refresh on this. Oh, it is. Look right there, Carrie. So we have a 42 pi. So the issue was on the delete async, I needed to pass in the partition key as part of the options. No, no. You can't go. All right, you can go. Thank you so much for streaming today, and thanks again, everyone, for your contributions to 2 Weeks Ready. All right, so we have one last one here to specify. Do you think that one I'm already passing in the, yeah, Dave, you're awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so here is our existing kit, and I'm already passing in the request options for this one. So that is fine and dandy. I could probably change this back again. Because it works. Shall we? Yeah, let's go ahead and clean that up first. So let's Control C out of here. Let's go steal our code. Copy and paste code only gets me in trouble all the time. Yeah, definitely. All right. So let's do this thing. Yeah, it gets me into trouble all the time too, but I don't think people want to watch me code this over and over and over again. Probably need a better repository, maybe, instead of going directly to the API, or the document API is what I meant. All right, verify existing document. We are based off of ID now, so again, this one's coming in as a parameter, grabbing it here, it's injected. We are now grabbing it by ID. So we're gonna do it the fast way, as long as I, don't copy and paste things wrong again. All right, let's do this again. ID. All right, I'm slowly going over here. So there's a collection URI. Probably don't need the collection URI at all. Again. Oh my gosh, these extra spaces. Okay. Somebody's going to create a meme. Extra spaces. All right. So base kit URI existing kit gets pulled by the partition key, which is ID again, because I can't write a collection name properly. All right. So this is being pulled off of the same one. I don't need to create it twice. And it is pointing to the correct partition ID. Looks good to me. All right, let's do it. Let's do the thing. Well, we are not... Did I just update delete? Delete? Did I do the wrong one? No, I did the right one. These methods look too much alike. Alrighty. F5, the magic wand of VS Code and Visual Studio. Whew. Do we really want to delete this guy? We probably want to create a request for it. So let's do that here. Again, duplication. Let's break it. All right, so this will be, this is not emergency kit, this is base kit. Should be just base kit delete. Base kit delete is there. Now I need to get the proper ID. So we have 37 in there right now. So let's go ahead and grab that ID. And should we bid it adieu? Let's bid it adieu. All right. Kapoom.
Yeah, baby.
Well, that is that. Sweet. All right, so we have now just finished the API for creating the base kits. So now inside of the admin app that Fritz started this morning, we can start hooking up the authorization code into that. We'll probably create a role at some point. Right now we'll just keep it open. But yeah, that is fantastic. All right, so let's go ahead and create a PR for this guy. So again, I am totally a source tree user. I am very clunky when it comes to, see, Dave was putting himself down that he only edited two files in an hour and a half. I edited one. Exactly one file. So just because it's one file doesn't mean that it's not a lot. Everything is welcomed. All right, so I probably should create a branch. So we'll call this feature API for base kits. Create that branch. Create API for base kits. Stage all. Push it up. Commit it. And I am a gatekeeper. So you never guess what I'm going to do right now. I am going to go over here. And I am going to create a pull request. Create the pull request here. Merge the bugger. Boom. All right, there it is. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is wait for these actions to go ahead and do its thing. Actually, I don't have to. What I probably should have done before I merged this was open up the actual UI and tested that. All right, so let's open up our 2 Weeks Ready app. Here we are here, so this should be updated with the latest code. All right, where's my environment pointing to? I am pointing local. Yes, that is Gucci. All right. Let's take a look here. I wanted to make sure that my Azure Functions are still running. I didn't quit those. I don't quit you, Azure Functions. I don't quit you. All right, so while that is going, what we're going to do is go npm run serve. It's going to do the build. What I'm going to do is just a quick little sanity check, so I know that I tested the endpoints all with my fancy tool that keeps opening on the wrong monitor. I have a drawing tablet down there. It's also dubs as a monitor. It's very hard to see, though, when you're not drawing. Why does it keep doing this? Get back here. Get. Collapse already. Oh, for heavens. Whatever. All right. So, boom. There we go. We have an 8080 started right up. That's not the same port. No, it would have errored if it was the same port, wouldn't it? What port am I on here? 7071. That's right. All right. Let us find this browser. We shall do this. And I shall, well, apparently I'm already logged in. Saving the, so that's actually pretty cool. Boom. There's my two my 2 red test kits that I created last night. Oh no, I just created those today. That's right. Okay. So I can go in and edit these now. So I had an appointment this afternoon between the hours of 2 and 3. So I missed some of the streaming today. Okay, so that doesn't do anything. So we can create though. All right. Gary's 42 kit. Because it's all about that. I don't think we have a pie icon. But it is a ka-chow. Or should we put the tank? Let's ka-chow that. Add kit item. We will say, well, this is where we add pie. 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 I need like 8 pies per person. Okay. Fantastic. All right, create. Sweet. So if I come back to Cosmos now, hit refresh this time. Hello. Really? I didn't delete anything. Why is my... That makes no sense. That shouldn't have happened. It deleted all the things. Where did all my kits go? Oh, I deleted one. Oh, it was probably caching. Browsers do that to me. Makes me think things are wrong. But of course, I just created a 42 kit. Where did that go? Okay. Are we pointing to the right place? Excuse my stomach. Emergency kits is going where? Local host. Oh. Yeah, it's hitting my API. What came back? It hit it twice. Failed to respond. I'm going to try an incognito window. And I'm going to go back to one of these developer windows. Not that one. That one. I just want to select it. Let's paste that in. All right, so it should not log me in because I'm incognito right now. Let's do this. I'm going to go in with Google. And I am carrie.payette@gmail.com. Don't forget, Star Trek is May 7th. Star Trek Virtual Edition is May 7th. Okay. Ugh. Spencer Samsung is not around. Spencer doesn't even use a Samsung. He has an iPhone. All right. 2, 5. All right. There's things. All right. Let's see here. Looks like the same kids to me. So where are they coming from? I got a feeling these are up in the cloud. What is undefined? It says it's hitting my local host. Alrighty then. Maybe my emulator's having some glitches. Let's go ahead and try refresh one last time. Okay, let's go to Explorer. Maybe Control Shift F5. I am confused. All right, well, let's take a look at what my functions are returning. Probably should have checked this before. Oh, Lordy. Okay, so that is my front end. We're Gucci there. This is base kits here. All right, I'm going to send that. It's my API pointing locally, which is localhost 7071. It's returning empty. My store, apparently. Oh, I'm in the wrong. I was working on base kits, not emergency kits. Yep, that was why I don't see them. Yeah, we don't actually have a UI into the base kits, because that's going to be what the admin app does, right? So what I can do, because I have a can-do attitude, is open yet a third project. Yeah. All right, so we're going to open a project or solution. We'll open up what Fritz started building this morning. All right, so that ain't it. We want to go into, I'm just going to come over here for a moment. I have too many projects. 2 weeks ready. Where are you? There it is. And we have admin, and we have an admin solution. Ka-chow. All right. So let's first run this guy. I don't know if I have everything I need installed. Oh. Well. That's fine. You can have that port. So our functions, I don't think I changed anything since we built. No, I did not. All right, that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch back to master here, pull down. That's fine. Okay. And we can actually point to our actual, like, I know it's not pointing anywhere right now, but I'm not worried about that collision with my functions here, because we should have built and deployed by now. So if you remember, yeah, I can close that off. If you remember here, we have actions, and it's now done the CI/CD and it's deployed it to, if you come to our 2 weeks ready GitHub link, right on the front page, you can see the most recent build that's checked into master. So there it is there, probably always a good thing to control F5. And you can see emergency kits here. And those were the ones that I created when I was testing and when Michael Jolly, Bald Bearded Builder, was building. So that is actually up on Azure right now as the PWA. All right. So there's that thing. So inside of Fritz's, let's see if we can actually run this guy, which I should be able to unless I needed to install something, but everything should be NuGet packages, so why is it, okay. Why is Azure Functions? What? Okay. Apparently the startup is pointing to the API. It is. Alrighty then. That's not what I wanted. That was what was confusing me. It was starting the API. It just said it's in Visual Studio and I was working in code. Okay. So let's, what is it? Configure startup or whatever. Set as startup project. Is that still a thing? Yes. Okay. Let's try it again. My kids are having fun in the background. All right, let's see it do the thing now. That's scary. Okay. There we go. So there's the thing. All right, so this admin website was what was started this morning, and this is where we're going to essentially go and maintain these base kits as well as some other content for the application. So what I want to do now is just take a little bit of a look around, just a little look-see to see, see what we've got. Again, a lot of the work goes into just the the groundwork, so I'm very thankful that we got this started. But what we need to do is move towards, and was that still open? Yeah. We want to have a section here for emergency kits, so base kits, and we want to have a section for hazard information and a section for hazard hunt. So these are going to be 3 items at least what the administrators are going to be maintaining for us. And then from an application perspective, we'll pull it down and cache it. So if the app goes offline, it'll pull from cache. But obviously if we're online, we can pull from the live feed. Okay, so let's, I have some experience with Blazor, but let's see how I can muster. All right, I don't know if this supports edit and go, but I want to find, here's a nav menu right here. Okay, so we have home. So let's create some LIs for that. Okay, boom, boom. Of course, I'm guessing that's okay. And we will call this base kits. We will call this hazard info. And one more. We will call this hazard hunt. So does that... Nope, it doesn't. Okay. Let's fire it up again then. I did a thing! Of course, we need different icons, but... Of course, these do nothing. But, hey. That's fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and find icons for this stuff. Because that's what we did half of the day today, was playing with icons. It's all about the icons, right? So inside of our 2 weeks ready, inside, well, not the API carry, inside of the app, we have a link to the material design icons, where we can get the fancy values that will pull the icons out of the CSS. So, okay, so if I were a kit, I think the kits actually go well with that medical one, right? I think I actually have that saved. No, there was no icon there. There's an icon in here, though. MDI medical bag. Okay. So, actually, I can just close this, because if it doesn't hot reload, I'm going to have to reload it anyhow, right? Okay. Oi home. This one has to be. Is it MID? There has to be more to it than that. Let me take a look. I think it was like MDI space, right? Something like that. I was right. I don't like the spacing, but I was right. Okay. Let's choose an icon for Hazard Hunt. And of course, all these are subject to change. I'm just playing around with it. Is there danger? Nope. No danger. Well, there was one that had like the Band-Aid, right? Yeah, right here. Bandage. Okay, let's take a look at this. I want that for Hazard Hunt. Cool, yeah, I'll try it. Okay. Ooh, good one. Mapolowski. Hazard lights. That is fantastic. I like it. Thank you. Of course, I forgot what it is already. Hazard dash lights, I think it was. That is awesome. Thank you for that. Yay! All right. I think I can commit this one directly. All I did was update a menu. Updated a menu. Yo. Fantastic. All right, so my time and the time for the Codathon is coming to an actual close. Thank you so much for the follow, double underscore m. Appreciate the follow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see who we can raid. I see that the Hurricane is currently he's currently streaming. I think that is actually a great theme to stream into. I don't think he's coding about hurricanes, but his nickname is the Hurricane. So I'm going to go to my channel here, and we are going to raid CLW. Of course, I'm not in the right spot. They moved my cheese, folks. They moved my cheese. So, go ahead and let's raid CLW. He is fantastic developer, fantastic person, and of course his nickname is Hurricane, and we want to be prepared for hurricanes. So please provide your source code expertise into 2 Weeks Ready.